Happy Thursday, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell, coming to you live on Memorex. Default route, default location. I will say this, and I say this in admiration, or is it admirable, considering this an admirable trait. When I do call off, when I wake up and I feel like I just can't do it today, and I call off like I did yesterday, I never do anything. It's like I'm sick. We're just in the bed. I didn't leave the apartment. It's minimal activity. Don't get my steps. No activities. And yesterday was probably pretty much the first time I woke up and called off in a month. Almost exactly a month. A little over a month, like 4 days. I think last time I called off was the 24th of September. And today I called off the 28th of October. Now, that doesn't mean that I did not have days off during that time. I did, but they were scheduled.
Next time, can you just ask permission?
For what?
Recording?
I'm not.
Oh, you're on a FaceTime? How about that? Have a good day.
Anyway. What was I saying? Dude asked me, broke up my train of thought, asked me, asking for permission to record. I was like, number one, I'm allowed to. You out here in the public. And number two, I wasn't recording your ass until you jumped up on the talking to me. I'm not in the best of moods. Look at that, see, I'm tripping over stuff. I'm not in the best of moods, but I'm out here. Yesterday, my nasals was acting up, my sinuses was acting up. Didn't do nothing but eat French fries and a couple hot dogs. Watch some pimpology movies. And you know what I did though? I watched some stuff on Huey P, PhD. One thing I say about that Negro, every show I saw him on, they had to cut him off. Every show I saw him speak on, he got in a shouting match with the moderator. It was like, come on, man. He was on Buckley, or whatever his name is. And they just got into a flat out over talk war. And then I saw him on another show, same thing happened. Him and the moderator got into it. Now, I would say I was fairly impressed with what he had to say. It seems the civil rights movement back then, or back in the day or whatever, a lot was focused on, I wouldn't quite call it black independence, but us fixing us. A lot of it was based on us fixing us and not expecting somebody to do something for us. One of the introductions to one of the ones I watched stated that, you know, these black men were eloquent. There was this one where I think the head of SNCC was there, the head of Martin Luther King was on it, the head of NAACP, and a round table, and they were discussing things. And it was like right before the march on Washington, D.C. You know, and they were explaining why they're doing this. And You know, because there was obviously some, you know, apprehension and people a little bit negative. You know, but why are you doing this? You know, why now? You know, and they were explaining it and went over some things. And I watched Huey Newton talk. And before that roundtable one, the commentator, David Hoffman, or no, not the commentator, the movie producer, the movie creator, used the word eloquent. And of course, you know, so anytime a white man call a black man eloquent, it's gonna be taken, well, what do you expect? What, you think I'm dumb? You know? And that was even kind of my reaction. And then I heard them talk. I heard them, you know, the way they were voicing their opinions. And of course, everybody on stage, you know, 3 or 4 people on the panel, on the stage were smoking cigarettes. So back then you watch things like that. You see smoke in the frame going, you know, up the frame. So, and just to hear him talking, and I admit it was very eloquent. And I can understand why you would, and Huey Newton was eloquent too. Long-winded, you know, maybe spoke a little too much, but his arguments and the things he was saying were right on spot. And I listened to that, you know, civil rights kind of plight of the black man, of the Negro stuff. And I agree with what a lot of it is saying. And for some reason, I don't necessarily like the approach at this subject that I hear today. And I probably couldn't even tell you what approaches they are. But it's just like a general idea of the way, you know, through this whole George Floyd thing, oh my God, that you know, that whole, whatever that was, that just strikes me as just, I could probably use the word wrong way to do it, but I don't want to use that because it really doesn't adequately say, you know, what I mean, because number one, there is no right or wrong. But I just didn't like the approach or the tactic that was used in today's, if you call it civil rights or movement to support black people. But it seemed like the tone back then was, we need to fix ourselves. Not fix ourselves, but we got things we need to work on. It was more of a very close to a segregation. You know, a lot of people were like, we need to work on ourselves. We need to develop our own. And not so much what the white man gonna do for me, it's what we gonna go out and get, what we gonna do. How can we improve our own plight? And they pointed out some of the statistics that I think led to where we are now. You know, the single parent households raising boys especially. And something else I just kind of forgot. I'm still not really up and awake yet. I'm really not. that much into it. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful day, sun shining. I'm out here getting my steps. Even though we had a lot of french fries and a couple hot dogs yesterday, my weight is down. And so I should be coming back home today with under 190, which is always good. So we'll see how that goes. People roll by me. Can't stand them old men taking up too much. Not giving me my space in the walking lane. I think everybody has to have something to bitch about. But even yesterday, like I said, my nasals was sore or irritated or something. I didn't quite get the headache, but they were pounding. In fact, I woke up, took a couple bites of Polish sausage and extra strength Tylenol. Extra strength acetaminophen with caffeine, try to knock it out. So I'm still kind of recovering, but the point being, you know, when I do wake up and call off, and I do find it admirable, if that's the right word, that I really don't do anything. I call off, it's for real. It's not, well, I'm gonna call off and go to the beach, or I'm gonna call off and go to the museum of, what is it, Mocha? What is that? What used to be my favorite place? Museum, museums, where is it? I can't remember. I've been there so many times. Museum of County Museum. What is it down there? It's a Mocha? Oh, no. Hang out, you know. Go down there and anything. I don't do nothing. I don't leave the apartment. Now, the difference being, there are days where I schedule time off to do something. That's why, you know, even though it's been a month since I called off, during those the last 4 weeks, I guess, there were days I was scheduled off. That's different. That's different. Calling off is waking up and just being like, I don't feel like going to work today. You lay there, the longer you lay there, the worse it get. And you just say, not today. It feels so good. You get up and make food. I had potatoes in there. It was good. It was good. Just lay. Actually, my nose was hurting. And I was trying to get a headache. But the headache was in the front, around my face, around my nasals and my nose, not in the back where it usually throbs. I'm gonna have to do something about that. I'm gonna have to go to the doctor about that, there's no doubt. I'm gonna have to go to the doctor about this. No sense of me playing, because I will tell everybody, you know, you need to go to the doctor. I'm a believer in the doctor. My mother was a nurse. So I'm very familiar with hospitals and going to the doctor, getting shots and checkups and all that stuff. You know. I need to go to the dentist too, come to think about it. I'm overdue for my cleaning checkup, etc. Now here come these people again. Here's the people that get on my nerves. Now see, I'm in the walking lane. Look how they coming up. One of them's in the walking lane. One of them's in the, since they want to, and they want to ride side by side. See, they want to ride side by side. And the one guy's in the lane he's supposed to be in. It's not what they're gonna do. He gonna move over? Is he gonna figure it out? That's the part I'm talking about. It's like they don't see a little bit of, it's like, move the fuck over. 6 feet, goddammit. I don't know why it irritates me, but it does. Well, why don't you just say something? I don't know. Maybe I like being irritated. Maybe I want them to mess up to the point to where I can just go off instead of having to be restrained and address them appropriately and mannerly and in a calm way. I say, excuse me, gentlemen. This is the walking lane and I'd appreciate it. No, I'm gonna go, what the fuck? Look what the, move the fuck over. Maybe that's it. Maybe I don't feel like expending the energy to properly put together the way I should or should not address the situation. Maybe I feel like I shouldn't have to. Maybe I'm hoping they'll figure it out. But it's on my mind, and I know that I'm quote unquote bigger than that, bigger than them. Or bigger than the situation. But I'll say this though, taking off Wednesday, and then knowing I'm coming back with only 2 days left of work, Thursday is always usually an up day because it's almost Friday. Friday is very much an up day because the weekend is upon us. Do I talk too much about work and not wanting to work? Is it on my mind too much? Talking about I'm gonna work till I'm 70. I could. I physically could. Mentally and psychologically, I don't know if I can. Some people at this job have been doing it for 20 years. Maybe I'm older than them. And they just happen to be at the same job. In the private sector, that's kind of interesting. Government, some of the people have been there for 35 years. Some of them been there so long they stink. Or they have like a government smell. They smell like the building. Like some of the old files and stuff they have under their desks. Desktop support, I had to go under them desks sometimes. Some of that stuff been there for decades. Same, like office equipment, this and that. And it gets that, not mildew smell, but like that you need to throw me away smell. Some of them smell like that. And they all kind of look, you can notice them because they walking around with their lanyard and their badge. They got a certain kind of dress, even a certain kind of walk. Government employee. You just about spot them a mile away. Makes me laugh when I think about that. especially up around when I walk around the post office. In San Bernardino, I mean, at the undisclosed location. I'm gonna take one of these. I'm gonna take one of these. Which one should I? I'll probably drive by and take one. Probably drive, I ain't gonna pick it up and carry it now. But I'm gonna get one. I guess I wasn't supposed to walk because, you know, the hand was up. But still, where I feel right now, you wasn't supposed to be in the lane or approaching me like that. And I guess the question is, well, if I stop working, what I'm gonna do? If I stop working, what will I do to fill my time? Or will I get lazy and start putting on weight? I mean, there's projects and stuff I want to do, and I find myself doing them, but I don't do them after work or on the weekends. I rest, maybe, and I'm thinking, you know, when I stop working, I have the energy to do these things. Because my day is full. I wake up 9 o'clock. My day does not stop until 7:50. Almost 11 hours. It's full of activity. You know, there's no break in there. Lunch, I'm walking. On my breaks, I'm walking. So when I do sit down in that chair at the end of the day and exhale, it feels good. Feels damn good. I'm thinking that maybe a week of that takes a lot out of me. So to come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just want to rest physically and mentally. My body just wants to, And I'll go to bed Friday night. Oh, I don't got to get up tomorrow. I'm sleeping all day long, or whatever. You know, nothing on my plate. I ain't trying to do nothing. But that doesn't last. You know, around 10, 11, a couple hours after I'm supposed to get up. You know, I'm ready to do something. May not be anything meaningful or strenuous or even significant, but you know, just do something. I don't usually feel like working with music or my websites or anything. Just want to sit. Well, I will lay in the bed for a couple hours, scrolling my phone, sometimes connected to my websites and looking those over, see how they work, how do I navigate them. see what may or may not need to be adjusted or changed. I don't know. I just know I'm not in a bad position. I'm in a very good position, and I probably could retire at 65 because that's when Medicare would kick in. 65. And then what I'm gonna do is live off some of my retirement. If I withdraw a percentage of my money, my IRAs, I guess, and can live off just a percentage that is lower than what it brings in annually. Hope I didn't give away too much about my financial situation with that statement, but you know, if I can live off the natural growth of the fund, what I would do is I'd quit working, and then I wouldn't file for Social Security until 70 to get the max, even though I quit working. You know, if I could live off of that, so I need to do the math. So if I start working and I have this much money coming in, you know, how much would the delayed payment be? That's the question. That way I could be not working 5 years or so, and let my 401k or IRA, whatever, grow. Live off it. And then if I, depending on where I live and how much income and expense I have, how long that'd be not working. I travel. I can do anything. Imagine that. Imagine if I could give up my apartment. I could actually, probably. I don't know how that's gonna play out though. Not sure how all that's gonna play out. Because I do love having my apartment, a place, solid place to live, my own space, uncompromised decision making, complete control. But my sister did bring up a point. Rent goes up. So if you rent, it goes up. But if you can buy something at a fixed rate, that rate will be solid. And it might seem kind of high right now, but in 15 years, say like I go to Pittsburgh and I buy a condo or something, or buy, you know, something, because out here, even the property taxes on your house. Co-worker was telling me her property taxes yearly on her house was $10,000. I'm like, what the hell? I guess that's nothing, but I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, but damn. Just the property tax. You pay the house off, you still gotta pay the property tax. Or if you get a townhouse, you gotta pay the homeowners. $400-500 a month. I mean, it's a lot cheaper, granted, but damn, you'll never really not have to pay anything. But I did see, I was back in Ohio, they were talking about a bill to eliminate property taxes. You know, sounds like a long shot, but at least somebody's, attempting it. May not happen this time around, but the fact that it's even being discussed publicly is something. You get rid of property taxes. I'm just saying. But the interest rates are so high right now. That's the killer. And I remember when the interest rates were really low and I was looking to buy stuff. I was interested in buying stuff. You do the financial calculator and the payments, mortgage payments were a lot different than they are now. Up around 6%. The interest was like down 2-3% not too long ago. And if you could have locked in a fixed rate, you'd still be paying that. Like my mother paying like $900 a month. And that's like amazing. Because she bought so long ago. When the interest rates were really low. I guess we all thought that the interest rates would stay that low. It wouldn't jump up like double or whatever. All I talk about is strategizing and figuring out how I ain't gotta work. Oh God, I'm gonna have to make it till I'm 65. I'm done at 65. I don't wanna do this no more. We're gonna figure something out. I gotta go talk to my financial advisor. I need to go visit him. Could have did that yesterday, but I didn't feel like doing nothing. So, well, I could have called him. Well, I can call him right now. I just don't feel like it. Only thing I'm thinking about is when I get off work Friday and don't gotta work for 2 days. Just exhale. Yeah. Thinking about how much and why. I'm thinking about not working. That's a telltale sign. That is a telltale sign. This ain't no joke. The other day, one of my Facebook memories came up from a year ago, and I was talking about how I didn't feel like working. Yeah, I'm 63 years old, 63 in July, August, September, October, 4 months, 63 and a third years old. 65, I'm done. Right now, the way I feel, 65, I am done. Start my Medicare. Get my Medicare in place. Talk to my financial advisor. Start bringing, X amount of dollars in. Hopefully, stock market don't crash. Lose all my money. Right now, making money is very aggressive. You can make money or lose money. It's just so aggressive. But it's doing the damn thing right now. Then I get that delayed Social Security, the delayed value of the monthly Social Security payment. And if I keep working the way I am now, which I won't, it'll be based on the best 35 years. So we'll see how that goes. And I should do the calculator. I'm gonna do the calculator. See how much it'd be if I stop working at 65 and I wait till I get the delayed. See how much that would be. And then I don't know if the income that I get from withdrawing from my 401k hopefully will add to my Social Security income and make it, because during that 5 years I'm not working, that counts against the number that they base your monthly payment on. And that's a lot of money, actually. When I think about it, it's a lot of money based on my salary now. 5 years of my salary now is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, now that I think about it. So we gotta see. In fact, I'm gonna do that probably as soon as I get home. If not, on my phone. I don't want to have to concentrate too hard. So I probably like sitting on that big desktop screen, be sitting down and not walking, carrying my phone. Just not there. Just not feeling productively aggressive like that. Or aggressively productive like that. But then I don't want to lay around and get lazy. Because that hurts. That hurts more than working, for crying out loud. And a consequence of the way I feel is I'm very, very close. And I kind of did it the other day with my supervisor, where one of my metrics was way off the charts. And I'm laughing. My email handle time was like 5, 6 times what it's supposed to be. And I didn't care. I celebrated. I went, woo! I was like end zone dancing on it. And that kind of attitude is kind of not what I want to have. Because I do respect the job, I respect the people, I respect the position. There is an amount of integrity I like to maintain attached to my name in doing this job. And I don't want to be that guy. So let's go back and think how much time I got before I can retire. I got 1 year and 8 months. 1 year and 8 months. 1 year, I'm 63 in 4 months. Am I 63? Yeah, I'm 63 in 4 months. I gotta get to 65. So I got 20 months. Is it 20 months? 1 year and 8 months, 20 months. Yeah, let's start putting this shit together. Yeah. Let's start putting this together. Like I haven't already been doing it all this time, all these damn videos I done made. I am deeply fantasizing about it. And I don't know, but I don't know if I'll be prepared, but I should pretty much be aware of what I may or may not be dealing with once I retire. At least I will have investigated and thought about it and went over it and maybe summarize it, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not completely blindly walking into this. Of course, there may be some things I miss. There may be some advantageous things that say, oh, you know, some benefits or some positive things that I may, you know, encounter once I retire. I say, oh, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. That's cool. You know, that helps out. That makes things a little easier. That's a benefit. That's an unexpected benefit. There'll be some of that. But if I plan without it and then the benefit comes, you know, that's cool. That's a cool thing. There'll be benefits and shortcomings, things I didn't see or didn't anticipate. Just be ready for it. Just try to anticipate. Listen to me talk about 1 year, 1 year and 8 months. 20 months, retired at 65. I went from 70 to 65 in a matter of what, a couple months or whatever. It was longer than a couple months. Yeah, it was longer than a couple months, but I didn't make the decision. It was wearing on me. Work is wearing. And figured out a way to still get the delayed retirement. You got to do the math. But the whole point, the math may not pan out. It may come out where I definitely lose money, but the money I'm losing and what I'm paying for is not the work. So how much loss in income is worth not having to work for 5 years? I can't think of a number that's too big. Yeah. How much loss, how much would I pay, give up, or sacrifice from my perceived retirement to not have to work for 5 years? And oh, wait, 5 minutes early, 5 years early, and get the delayed retirement. And also I can get it earlier. I don't gotta wait for 5 years, I can wait till I'm 68 or something. And then get that, have that extra monthly income. So right now, if I look at it, and I keep things going, it's like $3,700 a month. On top of what I'll be able to pull out of my money, I got retirement money. If I file at 70, how many times have I been over this? Am I talking to you or am I talking to me? I think I'm talking to me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm talking to me. Anyway. That's all I talk about, huh? That's all I talk about, huh? You gotta be prepared for it. I know what I want to do. The whole Jeffery TV legacy / empire. I want to work on that. Creative stuff, build stuff, play with my cameras and microphones, developing, I guess you say, content and philosophy, building something. That really gets me going when I think about it. And full disclosure, one of the things that excites me about working, doing the job, is that I'm sitting there and on the side I can do this. On the side I can do that. That really helps me get through the day. That really, really helps me get through the day. Knowing that, ooh, I can look at that, or I can do that. Not necessarily work on this stuff, but ooh, you know, I can look at that. I can do this, you know, while I'm working, you know. Because I see these kids coming in. I see these kids coming in, and they're hungry, and I was hungry once. And I wanted to, you know, just come in and just kick ass and get this, get that, get this, grow, be the best. And literally, one of the guys who I don't know if impressed with is the word, but I can see he's going after it, and I like the way his style, the way he's going at it. I said, man, I was doing that before you were born. I said, I was you at other places before you were born. And that's the truth. Some of these people ain't even 30 years old. And 30 years ago, I was on like my second, third job. So you know, maybe it's time. Maybe I did what I could do. Then the other question becomes, is there another job you want to do? Nope. All I want to do is work on Jeffery stuff. That's all I want to do. All I want to do is work on Jeffery stuff. And when I was off on sick leave or medical leave or, you know, on my leave of absence, I was still clearing my head out for a bunch of that. And then I was traveling, seeing P-Funk a few times, been back in Ohio, et cetera, et cetera. So the first few weeks of that, I was in recovery. I was off balance a little bit, not having to work, dealing with paperwork, you know, making sure everything is straight. So the first few weeks it was that. And then I started, and doing those first few weeks, I was like, no way in hell I'm going back. I didn't even want to look at the job or anything. Then that kind of gradually eased up. Then I started getting into doing things. So I really never had a time to where, you got nothing now. You got nothing to do but work on Jeffery TV stuff. Nothing. And you should be healed, retired, everything in place, et cetera, et cetera. You know, now there's no excuse for you not to be making major strides and improvements or developments on the Jeffery TV legacy empire. And that's what I want to do. Make content, talk, speak, philosophize, get into that kind of stuff. Be creative, document, get it down in digital, et cetera, et cetera. These talks are gonna help. These talks that I'm having definitely help. There's no way they're not. As I develop, you know, with my future, thinking about it, summarizing it, and theorizing, hypothesizing how it could work. Then I've been talking to a couple people who are retiring at work. Then we get on the phone, be talking. And you know, I hear some of the things they're thinking about. One of them said, you know, they put the number in and they were concerned that, you know, did they do the right thing? You know, second guessing themselves, which is normal, I'm sure. And also how a few people have voiced that it's something to get used to. It's not easy. I said before, my ex-wife retired in November, went back to get something else by April. Got to do something. Stay busy. How much traveling is there? Go spend a week in Africa. How expensive is that? Go spend a week in Africa and be paying for an apartment here. Unless I can set something up where I can crash on somebody's, have a place. No, I gotta have my own place. I gotta have my own place where I can go in, shut the door, don't bother me. Even if I get a Airbnb or something like that, Gotta have a place. And where you gotta have a home to come to where you can say, yeah, that's it. Shut the door, 3 or 4 days, nothing. But does it have to be, the thing is, does it have to be in California where I'm paying $1,900 a month? It could be in Pittsburgh or someplace. It's a lot cheaper. I could probably find an apartment. If I really want to be crazy about it, find an apartment in Youngstown. $500-$600 a month, as opposed to the $19 I'm paying now. And something that cheap, it's like, you know, it's almost like you don't care that you're paying that money just to have it. So that money is so relatively insignificant that, yeah, that ain't no money. But to be traveling the world and being away from home X amount of time and paying $2,000 a month to do, you know, if you're traveling for not being bored, traveling and paying $2,000 a month to be in a place that you ain't in. All that anyway, I'm just rambling, which is probably not a bad thing to do in this case, for this case, but all I do is talk about my retirement. All I do is talk about my retirement. Oh God, I can't wait. Oh God, I can't wait. I just like fantasizing about it, I guess. So I'll go in and I'll work today. And one thing I will say about myself too is I get to the point where I just don't, I work, but I don't feel like doing it. And it's like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be there, and I probably won't be operating at the highest capacity, and I don't care. And I'm like, do whatever you want to me. I don't care. I just don't want to be here to do this no more. I'll suffer the consequences for my actions. I'll very gladly and easily suffer the consequences for my actions of just not performing or doing my job, quote unquote, correctly. Like, I don't care what you do to me. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want to me. That's how strongly I feel about not doing my job, quote unquote, right. If you ask me, like my boss was asking me about my email handle time, I was like, ooh, I knew. I already knew. I already knew. And I kind of probably expressed the fact that I didn't care. And my supervisor sympathizes with me. understands where I'm coming from. So it's kind of, you know, puts her in a weird position, but she's supposed to do her job. You know, regardless of how she feels, she got to do her job. And I get that. Regardless of how she feels, what her sentiment may or may not be, she got to do her job as a professional. And that's what's expected of her, and that's what I expect of her. I don't expect her to do anything less than that. She can do something more than that. More mean something that's beneficial to me. You know, help me out in this process. My weight is down. After eating them potatoes yesterday. My weight is down. I should come in today. I'll definitely come in under 180. I'll come in at 180 something. Like 189.8 or something like that. Which is pretty good. Considering this is like the second week in a row where I hit the 180s. Because it goes down gradually. It goes down gradually. And then, you know, like Monday, I looked at the number and I was kind of disappointed in the number I had Monday. Then I went back and looked at the previous Monday and I lost 2.5, 3 pounds. I was like, oh, okay. Because you go from, you know, Saturday morning, like a really low, stupid number. Then after the weekend, you go up, but you don't go as much as you did the previous weekend. So I started off like 2 pounds lower than I did last week, and that made me feel a little better. And I was like in the 180s on Tuesday. Which is like amazing. Ish. All right, how long have I been talking? Nothing that matters, just want to see. Yep, 1 hour and 3 minutes. It's almost like I know. It's almost like I know when I hit an hour. I do this every day. This thing, I walk and talk for an hour every day. I mean, not every day, but you know, so many days a week. Just get out here and talk. Without unscripted. Just whatever's on my mind. Just flowing consciousness, as they say. How can you not love that? How can you not love that? Just me talking about me. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing to get out, get in physical activity, psychological outsideness, being outside, exposed to the sunlight, the people around you, the environment. Them 4 old guys that be bugging me to have all that. You know, people talking to me, homeless people, and getting physical exercise, psychological exercise, and to have a talk with myself. With a perceived audience. I say perceived, whether it's real or not. I mean, people watch this stuff. I mean, I kind of know some people do. But, and to be honest, I don't know if I want hundreds of thousands of people watching these things anyway. That'll change my life, and I don't know if I want that. That would change my life to where I'd have to move, and do this and do that, and change. And I want to be able to, you know, talk and do stuff. I would have to walk and talk, maybe, without video. Y'all really need video? I could probably, yeah, because without video to, I'd have to move and then do this without shooting video, or shooting video without, letting people know where it's at. But I guess maybe the video ain't needed. Maybe the video ain't needed every day. I can just record audio. And then, but I do video. You know why I do video? Because so it can be posted straight to Facebook and YouTube. Then I take all the videos and extract the audio from all of them. And make audio podcasts. So I might have to start thinking about or considering audio only. Especially on some of these where, there's not much to see here. Why even have me on camera? There's really nothing, And then just I don't think anybody sit here and watch them anyway. Who gonna sit here and watch them? There's nothing really to watch, just something to listen to. So I might want to consider that. And it'll make the file size a lot smaller. And then say like I'm walking and I'm recording an audio podcast. No, I will record video with a splash screen over it. I will record video with a splash screen over the video, so you just see the, label or whatever, and wouldn't see me, to keep my location hidden. And have to, all of that. Because I do anticipate, in the back of your mind, you're anticipating, this is gonna blow up, and you become quote unquote famous and following, and people who want to take advantage of your following and create news based on you. Oh, I see where you're at. Just do things, just not to let people know. Make access to you a little bit more, a little less easy. Anyhow, swinging on y'all. 2 times. For me, for the phone. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom, in this or in any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, a theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.